All right, guys, we're down to the last extract, extract 4, which is the emerging dispute over China's rare earths export ban. There is a link from Dambisa Moyo that I'm going to put through for you guys to check out. This is just taking a general look at the overall issue, but looking at the questions I posted up earlier, we're going to analyze the impact of increasing global competition for raw materials. Ultimately, what we need to take a look at is the fact that this is then going to, so a lot more people want that limited supply of raw materials. You could probably use a demand supply diagram. Also, you could indicate the price of raw materials would increase. Global competition may drive innovation and people to find different sources for those materials and developing technology that doesn't require them. Potentially increase the efficiency with which these raw materials are used. Okay, let's keep going down. So that's our question. That's just to give you a rough idea of the way you should be looking at this. Explain what is meant by global resource scarcity. There's a great report from PwC. Ultimately, it's that there is a limited supply of resources and they're becoming more and more scarce due to global demand, and it's on a global scale. It's not just limited to one region or another. All right, so take a look at this link and it should drive you up, give you some more information to understand why prices are being driven up. Analyze the impact of rising material costs on competitiveness. We know increased costs drive up the cost of production. So if rising material costs are going, what's the impact they're going to have on us? If we go back to extract 1, we'll realize that the SRAS will shift left. Let's think about the UK, because greater commodity prices that we import will induce cost push inflation, which inflation, as we know, will in turn impact international competitiveness. If this is an evaluation question, you need to remember that the extent of this impact in terms of making us lose international competitiveness will be dependent upon how much the rising material costs impact our business and as well as other businesses in different countries. So if we, for example, have cost push inflation in the UK and they have cost push inflation elsewhere on the globe, then we're not going to be the only ones who are losing competitiveness. You can consider that. Discuss the consequences of greatly increasing demand for natural and mineral resources. Okay, you want to talk about the fact that they're going to, this will deplete, I'll type this up as we go, that this will deplete natural and mineral resources. And make sure you've explained why the demand is, or why demand is greatly increasing. Okay, talk about damage to the environment, issues with sustainability, impact on future generations. What else could we say here? Driving up prices, again increasing cost push inflation potentially. What else can I come up with? Greatly increasing demand. So the prices get driven up, impact on future generations from using it up, potentially driving innovation with regards to the use of these resources, and potentially exhausting non-renewable resources, or driving, not exhausting, but moving closely towards exhausting them. Right, so let's go back over here. Now, this question here that I've put together, what I've done for this one, why it's highlighted is because it's so important to me. And the reason being, I've gone back to the extract and the introduction, and I pulled the last paragraph of the introduction. Now, historically, from the 585 papers of the past, you can actually go back and check this yourself. If you go to the introduction, it generally relates to extract 4. And the question for the final 20 marker has generally come from that extract. Right, I've seen the discussion on Tutor to You pretty much indicating the same, that it comes from extract 4. And in the introduction, that final paragraph tends to summarize what is being said in extract 4. So I'm going to tell you all to make sure that you understand this, right? Don't rely on this as your 20-mark question. This is not guaranteed to come up. I feel it has a high likelihood of doing so, or this is one of the things that I make sure that my students understand they're not allowed to not understand this question and be able to answer it. So we're going to talk about comment on the effectiveness of the EU's and China's approach to correcting the market failure resulting from the resource scarcity of rare earths. I'm going to read this paragraph to you, then I'm going to talk you through my plan. The resource scarcity, which had contributed to global inflationary pressures, brought about different policy responses both nationally and regionally. Okay, so that was part of the syllabus as well. National and regional policies to address, I believe it was the market failure resulting from one thing or another, scarcity, but I'm going to look it up on the specification. If you hold on, actually, what I'll do is I'll go get that. If I continue, this is what I did. I just went over to the specification, pulled it, and this is kind of like my aha moment, because I didn't see this before, but I did now. Now, this evaluate the usefulness of national and regional policies and international agreements in promoting sustainability. This actually lends itself very well to the paragraph I'm reading below. So I'm going to continue reading, and I want you guys to remember this. You can actually write this down as I'm reading it, because I think that would be helpful. So national and regional policies and international agreements in promoting sustainability. I really feel good about this, because I think I've just stumbled upon what I would even feel more confident about saying would come up as your final question. But again, know everything else, don't just know this. So how useful are the national, regional, and international agreements been in promoting sustainability? That's excellent, because we can take a look at China at the national level, we can look at the European at the regional level, and then we can take a look at international agreements, for example, by the World Trade Organization, how effective they will be at promoting sustainability. Okay, really feeling good about this. So what I would start off with, first, define resource scarcity, and also define sustainability. So I'm going to put that in here as well. Scarcity, sustainability. All right, the next thing you need to do is I'm going to bring this down a bit so I can see this at the same time. All right, I'm going to put it here. All right, we're going to talk about, let's see, what are the issues? They're trying to address global inflationary pressures, understand what those are, talk about the policy responses. All right, the Chinese policy response has been the export quota, so I'm going to go back here. This is the national level. All right, national. This is at the regional level. All right, so at the national level, we see China here introducing quotas and then giving the indication that exports are going to be banned from 2015. So be able to talk about the export quotas and export ban, include the diagram of a quota. If you can't find it, just Google it. It should pop up. That's at the national level. Then talk about why it works, why it might not work. Talk about its impact. The EU, the regional incentives, which involve a few things here. It could be subsidies. These are incentives to get manufacturers to either work better together, work more efficiently, or make better use of their resources. Right? You could do that through subsidies, increasing taxation, encouraging eco-innovation, deregulating industry, encouraging investment or investing on their own, privatization, government support in terms of providing direction and organization for those companies that are trying to work together, EU directives in the sense that actually have sit down, come up with an agreement, and have things you're trying to achieve together as a union, greater sharing of knowledge, greater knowledge sharing infrastructure between countries and borders, meaning that countries should be able to collaborate and governments should be able to collaborate in an easier way to make sure that they can actually move forward with trying to become more efficient towards achieving sustainability. Right, going back to the China thing, why might this? Because how does this address resource scarcity and sustainability? All right, and then with the EU incentives, address resource efficiency and sustainability. Okay. In addition to that, let's talk about the WTO agreements and their ability to enforce sustainability, enforce and influence sustainability. I think I'm quite happy with that. So you can talk about what the WTO agreements are, because you can talk about when they came in 2009 to adjudicate in this dispute about China's export quotas and raw materials. Take a look at it, see what happened, and see how effective that was at promoting sustainability. Ultimately, I can imagine your answer should come through to evaluation. Rank which of these measures is most effective at promoting sustainability. Right, I would focus on that. I'm going to highlight that, put it in blue. Okay, here's your analysis. Right, make sure as you're doing it, as well rank, hold on, go back here. Rank effectiveness at the end. Highly effective, effective, moderately effective. Right, because you're going to be talking about the three here. And then I'm going to say the same thing for each of these. All right, same thing here. I mean, in your opinion, which one do you think is most effective? I think in the short run, China's policy will work, but I think in order for sustainability to be severely impacted or encouraged, I think these EU incentives and initiatives will work best. It's which one you're going to pick and talk about in detail. You could address anything that you've studied in the past, anything that's come up from the material that you know, take a look at that, see what you could possibly do. Some diagrams involve negative externalities, subsidies, quotas. Here's a quota diagram I talked about earlier. This is for roads. Negative externalities, you know, subsidies, you know. If not, just research them. I'll put the tutor Q link up. Again, I said analyze each of the above in terms of the China, EU, and W2 agreements promoting sustainability and addressing the issue of resource scarcity and sustainability. Evaluate each policy insofar as its ability to be effective. The impact of China's export ban will drive investment to China, as China could be viewed as having a monopoly on rare earths. If you could include the monopoly diagram, interpret it, but I think that gets away from the question. You could talk about the impact of world trade on the monopoly in the sense that if China has a monopoly on these rare earths in the sense that they supply 95%, then they could potentially drive up the price, and then you could talk about the impact on world trade. But if the question's focusing on sustainability, you can generally move away from this point. But then again, evaluate the usefulness of these national, regional policies and international agreements in promoting sustainability. All right, good. This I should actually take and put here. All right, comment on the impact of China's export ban of rare earths. So it's going to drive investment to China because they'll have the monopoly. More firms will move over to China for production. Talk about the monopoly diagram, why it works. If you need information on what a monopoly is and how it works, price and output decisions, I have a link also to that on my channel. I would define the ban, the impact on China, the impact on their production, the impact on other countries' production, the extent to which it will depend upon, discuss the potential trade disputes that may arise and the impact they're going to have on international trade. Then I think this question is just repeating earlier. Comment on the effectiveness of the EU's market-based approaches to correcting the market failure arising from the scarcity of raw materials. And finally, illustrate using a diagram the impact of China's rare earths quota / ban on the global market. Again, here's the diagram illustrated, no big deal, but this is for the quota, not the ban. The ban would again remove it from global supply, so you need to think about what that means. But I really want to bring your attention back here because this only came to me while I'm doing this video, that this part of the syllabus, it seems to be lends itself very well to this paragraph. Because if you think about it, national, regional, and international agreements all pop up in promoting sustainability. That's the main thing here. Potentially resource efficiency, which you could argue is another way of saying sustainability. Take a look. Any questions, again, do write them down below. And also you can thank, I think it's Donna1156, because I wasn't going to put this video up today. She's panicking, so I've decided to upload this. So you can thank her for why this is up tonight. And I realize you guys only have a few more days before the exam. Good luck. I'm going to try to come up with some more stuff, but I've done a lot already. I would like to do some more. And, wish you guys good luck. If there's anything else I can help with, do tell me. If any teachers are watching or using these videos, please feel free to join in on the discussion, on the commentary. Correct anything that you feel maybe I haven't addressed adequately. Add your input. It's more than welcome. Again, good luck, guys. I hope this was helpful. I'm trying to move up to see potentially if I can reach all economics students taking this exam. So if I get 2,500 views each, it's a bit optimistic, but hey, 300 is pretty good. I'll be happy. So good luck. All the best.